What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video of my sports, Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over a football game for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon where my picks are always in writing, bold, underlined, and italicized. So there's no confusion. For more information on that, please read the pinned comment in the comment section of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks for this day, for this game. Let's go ahead and get into the game. We're going to be looking at, let me move myself over here to the corner. We're going to be looking at this game right here. Commanders versus the Packers. Both the Commanders and the Packers played on Sunday, so it's a quick turnaround for both these teams. Although Packers played at home and Commanders were on the road, or were they on the road? I don't know, but they have to travel in this spot anyway. And Green Bay, and I think because of that, Green Bay are 3.5 point favorites heading into Thursday's game. Let me go ahead and bring it down a little bit smaller. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers, numbers specific to the game. The way that I have it structured is I have the distance to the upcoming Super Bowl up top, the location of the game. I keep track of home team win-loss records for the NFL. Right here is the regular season head-to-head matchup between the two teams. And then I have the home team right here, their season record, their quarterback record, their name Gematria to and from their birthday. Then at the bottom is the road team, their season record, their coach's record, their quarterback record, their name Gematria to and from their birthday. But before we get into Thursday's game, let's just go ahead and recap week 1 of the NFL. Let's go to week 1. Let's bring it over here to the side of the screen. All right. So for week 1 of the NFL, I made 5 picks total. I do the primetime games, and I did one game on Sunday, and I did the Friday game. I ended up with 3 wins and 2 losses for week 1 to start off the NFL season. Very average, very down the middle. I'm okay with that. It could have been a lot worse. But I had Eagles Thursday over the Cowboys. I picked the Chiefs Friday, and the Chargers won. I had Packers over the Lions on Sunday, and then I had the Ravens for Sunday Night Football, but the Bills won. And then to cap it off for Monday, I picked the Vikings to beat the Bears, and they won, which gives me a 3-2 record to start the season. Puts me at 2-1 for prime time, 1-0 for Thursday Night Football, 0-1 for Sunday Night Football, and 1-0 for Monday Night Football. So let's get ahead. Let's go ahead and get started with this Week 2 NFL matchup for Thursday Night Football. I'll go ahead and get rid of my camera here down below so we can just get the full screen. There we go. All right. So I always like to start off with the road team, or excuse me, not the road team, the home team. I'm going to start off with the home team. I'm going to give you some reasons why I like the Packers to win. And then I'm going to give you some reasons why I like the Commanders to win. There's some interesting numbers for this game for both these teams. We'll start off by saying it's 150 days till the Super Bowl. 150 days till the Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers sums to 150. This is the 10 quarterback versus the 5 quarterback. 105. Anagram of 150. Commander sums to 105, which is, again, the 10 quarterback versus the 5 quarterback. Anagram of 150. So, interesting matchup here tonight for Thursday Night Football. So, let's just get started. Let's go over why the Packers could win this game. So, if the Packers were going to win this game, it's going to be, date numerology for the Gregorian. There is 65 date numerology on the Gregorian, as well as 20 date numerology on the Gregorian. And it is a distance of 313 days since Jordan Love's 26th birthday. 313 is the 65th prime number. And the number 20, if you write it out, sums to 26. I'll show you. Not 26, I'm dumb, just 20. So the number 20 written out sums to 26. Also sums to 55, which we're going to talk about, and 107, which we're going to talk about. But yeah, so the date numerology has 2065, 313 days since his 26th birthday. 20 written out sums to 26. 313 is the 65th prime. Jordan Love, which sums to 55, can get his 20th win regular season for his career. If this were to happen, the Packers would become 2-0 for the season, as well as 2-0 at home, like 20. And like how I said, the number 20 sums to 107. Well, NFL home teams can become 10-7, like 107, with a Packers win to go with. This game will take place in a Lambeau Field, which sums to 71, the 20th prime number. Wisconsin 55. Green Bay, Wisconsin sums to 257, the 55th prime. If this all were to happen, the Packers would become 21-16 head to head against the Commanders regular season. 21-16. Well, from the Commanders side, it would be 16-21. And mathematics tells us that 16-21, or if Commanders lose and become 16-21 head to head against the Packers, mathematically speaking, 16-21 is the 257th prime number. 257 is the 55th prime number. This game taking place in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which sums to 257, the 55th prime. Jordan Love, 55. 20 date numerology, 20 written out sums to 55. He can get his 20th win for his career. Regular season, Packers could become 2-0, 2-0 for the season and at home. So that's what I would put for Packers. If that were to happen, Commanders coach, he would get his sixth loss as a coach specifically for the Commanders, as Jaden Daniels gets his sixth loss regular season for his career. Number 6, if you write it out, sums to 20. It also sums to 29, and there is 20 and 29 date numerology on the Gregorian. And if you write out Washington Commanders, it sums to 107. Home teams could become 10-7, like 107. Write out 20, it sums to 107. So that's what I would put for the Packers to win this game. It would be those numbers right there. Pretty straightforward. But oh yeah, and then one more thing for the Commanders. If the Commanders lose, they become 1-1 for the season, 0-1 on the road, which looks like an extended 111 with a O in the with a 0 in the middle somewhere. Thursday will be a day leaving 111 left in the Gregorian year. But if we're going to go ahead and switch it up here, let's go ahead and look at the Commanders. What would it take for the Commanders to win this game?
Sorry to interrupt this video, you guys, but I need a huge favor from you. Can you go ahead and like this video and leave a comment below on who you think's going to win? It's going to help with the YouTube algorithm. It's going to help grow my channel. I really appreciate you guys being here. Let's go ahead and get back into the video.
Well, interestingly enough, Dan Quinn will be celebrating his 55th birthday Thursday. He is born on September 11th, 1970. He'll be turning 55 years old on this night. You know, we just talked about the number 55 at nauseum with the Packers. Maybe this 55 favors the Commanders instead, since it's Dan Quinn's birthday on 9/11. Well, what connections can we make for this? Well, Dan Quinn can sit on 5 losses regular season for his career as a coach for Commanders with the win, as Jaden Daniels sits on 5 losses regular season for his career with the win. Jaden Daniels wears the number 5. He can sit on 5 losses wearing the number 5 on his coach's 55th birthday. As Dan Quinn sits on 5 losses as a coach for Commanders. The Commanders could be the team that becomes 2-0 for the season, like 20 on a day with 20 date numerology, 20 written out sums to 55. They would also become 1-0, like 10 on the road for the season with the win, and 55 mathematically is the 10th Fibonacci number as well as the 10th triangular number. And they can do it against a number 10 quarterback, Jordan Love. If this were to happen, Packers would sit on 20 all-time, or excuse me, 20 regular season head-to-head wins against the Commanders on a day with 20 date numerology as Commanders become 2-0 like 20 written out sums to 55, it being Dan Quinn's at 55th birthday. It could swing that way if they wanted to. Washington Commanders sums to 107. That could be the 107. It could be in favor of Commanders versus home teams becoming 10-7 for the NFL. Well, it is going to be the 17th NFL game for this season. Commanders could just go ahead and get their 17th regular season head-to-head win against the Packers as they sit on 20 head-to-head losses against the Packers. And even though I said that the Commanders could become 11 and 0 and 1 for a season record with 111 left in the Gregorian year, Packers could just as easily become 1 and 1 for the season and 1 and 1 at home. Just a bunch of ones, like an 11 for 111 left. Like it doesn't have to be perfectly 3 ones. It could be 4 ones if they want it to be. It being the first game of the second week. Um, and then one last thing here. Jordan Love is the number 10 quarterback. Jaden Daniels is the number 5 quarterback, kind of like the number 105. How Commanders sums to 105. Mathematically speaking, 105 is the 14th triangular number, and that could be the excuse there that we can say Jaden Daniels getting his 14th win regular season as Dan Quinn gets his 14th win regular season as a coach for Commanders because it's the 10 versus the 5, like 105, the 14th triangular number. Jaden Daniels, his birthday is on December 18th. This will be the 18th day of the 12th month for the Hebrew civil side of the calendar, 1812, 1218. So it could align with that. There's 11 left on the Hebrew civil side of the calendar. So there's another potential for 11s to pop up. A day with 55 date numerology on the Hebrew civil. So it's pretty interesting how, it's pretty interesting. Let me get this out if I'm able to. Oh, it won't let me. So I don't know where the screen's at. Dang it. Okay, I'm kind of being a goof. All right. There we go. Okay. Sorry for the quick pause there. I had to get the screen up because so I know when to adjust this thing down here if I can get it going. There we go. So I can just adjust this screen to make it bigger. Okay, anyway. So that's kind of what I have for this game. For the Packers and the Commanders. Packers have the 20 play the number 20 plays for both sides because 20 sums to 55, it being 20 date numerology on the Gregorian. The 55 can go in favor of the Commanders coach be turning 55, or it can go in favor of the Packers just simply becoming 2-0, 2-0 for the season and at home. And then the home teams become 10-7 for the NFL. I mean, there's just so many 55 connections here for both sides. It's going to be kind of tough here, in my opinion. Um, I do like the Packers numbers. But I wouldn't be surprised with a sneaky Commander's 55th birthday win as well. Like Jaden Daniels wearing the number 5, sitting on 5 losses, and his coach turning 55. Commanders could be just as easily become 2-0 like 20 sums to 55, just as easy as Packers could become 2-0 like 20. Washington Commanders sums to 107. The number 20 sums to 107. But just as easily, the Packers could give home teams a 10-7 record with a win, like 107. You know. Packers could become 2-0, 2-0 for the season and at home, or they can simply just sit on 20 wins head to head against the Commanders with the losses. Commanders become 2-0. So there's a lot of like parity here for back and forth. Like you can make the number go back and forth either which way. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you insight to this game, get you started on a decode, adds to a decode that you already have. I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate the support. Hopefully, you guys had a good first week, week 1 NFL, heading into week 2. Hopefully, you win all the money in the world. I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.